Tonight's fog-shrouded sleep story is inspired by the iconic streets and gentle magic of San Francisco, where you will wander through lantern-lit hills and listen to the soft clanging of cable car bells. You will ride up to Chinatown, descend the winding curves of Lombard Street, enjoy fresh seafood at Fisherman's Wharf, and relax with jazz music at a historic venue, ending your night at a cozy Victorian bed and breakfast where the fireplace crackles softly and the bay breeze drifts through open patio doors, carrying you gently into a night of deep, restorative sleep. Welcome to the Whispering Willow. I am Diana, and I will be your companion for tonight's sleep story. I was raised in the Central Valley of Northern California, just an hour from Oregon. I lived in a small town that was even smaller then. When we wanted to experience things you could only find in a large city, we often made the 4-hour drive to San Francisco, which we fondly referred to as simply the city. My mother went to college in San Francisco, and my father spent a lot of time there courting her. So the city always felt familiar and special to my family. Later, when I attended college in the Napa Valley, only about an hour from the city, my roommates and I occasionally made the trip there for concerts or just to wander through the exciting city by the bay. I have not visited in many years, but some of my fondest memories were made there. And tonight, that is where I would like to guide you. So let's begin by settling in. Find a comfortable position in your bed. Close your eyes and allow your body to soften into the surface beneath you. Relax and take a slow breath in through your nose. Then release it gently through your mouth, giving your exhale a little force. Do this a few more times. We often imagine escaping to quiet mountains or countryside when we feel overwhelmed. But sometimes clarity arrives in a different way. Sometimes it appears when you step into a bustling place where no one knows you and nothing depends on you. A place where you can simply observe life moving around you and depend on it to continue moving without your help. When you are surrounded by people and activity that do not directly involve you, your thoughts begin to separate from the noise of the daily life. Sometimes it is easier to think clearly when you are alone in the midst of a city. More than once, I traveled to San Francisco when I needed clarity during times of uncertainty. Tonight, you will do the same. As you take another deep breath, imagine breathing in the smells of this seaside city: briny ocean air, fresh sourdough bread from neighborhood bakeries, seafood markets along the docks, cool evening fog drifting in from the Pacific, and let your next breath carry you there. It is late afternoon, and the sun has begun to lower toward the horizon, washing the sky in soft shades of gold and pink. You arrive at the historic Powell and Market cable car turntable. This is where your journey begins. The cable car system in San Francisco began in 1873, when engineer Andrew Smith Halliday helped launch the first line on Clay Street Hill Railroad. Halliday designed the system after witnessing the dangers faced by horses pulling streetcars up the city's steep hills, especially when they slipped on wet pavement. His solution was an underground moving cable that streetcars could grip to pull themselves smoothly up and down the hills. Over time, cable cars became an essential part of transportation throughout San Francisco, with several companies operating different lines across the city. Although most were replaced by electric streetcars and buses in the early 1900s, a few lines were preserved due to public demand and their historic significance. Today, the remaining cable cars are both a working transit system and a beloved symbol of the city's history. The Powell-Hyde turntable is the end of the line where cable cars can turn around and go back the opposite way. The Powell-Hyde cable car waits for you now, its polished wooden panels glowing warmly beneath the late afternoon sunlight. Its brass poles gleam softly. Lanterns along the car glow brightly. You step aboard, gripping the cool, smooth brass pole to pull yourself up. Some passengers choose the indoor seating, protected from the cool air by thick windows. You settle into one of the wooden bench seats that line either side of the car, enjoying the chill of the air on your face as you travel through the streets and the excitement of gripping the brass poles to keep yourself securely on the car as it climbs and turns. The polished wood of the bench seat feels sturdy and familiar beneath you. A conductor stands nearby. The bell rings with a cling-clang, an iconic symbol of this famous city. The cable car begins to move, and beneath you, hidden under the street, the great steel cable hums steadily as it pulls the car forward. The sound is low and rhythmic, almost like a lullaby. This contrasts with the sharp grinding sound of metal against metal as the conductor's gloved hands shift gears, allowing the streetcar to grip the cable beneath. The car climbs slowly up the steep hill, the conductor clanging the bell at each intersection. Fog comes and goes softly across the streetlights. Buildings glow gently through the growing mist. The bell rings again, and your journey along the steep hills of the city continues. The car crests another hill and carries you toward Chinatown, your first destination. As you step out on the sidewalk atop the steep street, you immediately notice the lanterns. Red with golden trim, they hang above the street, glowing warmly through the misty air like floating moons, and casting amber light onto the pavement below. The air smells faintly of ginger, roasted duck, and jasmine tea. You wander down a quiet side street and step into a small silk shop tucked beneath rows of lanterns. Inside, silk robes hang in long, graceful rows, their bright colors beckoning you like a peacock attracting a mate. Jade green, ruby red, deep midnight blue. Each robe moves softly in the still air like petals in a quiet garden. Your fingers brush across the cool, smooth fabric. You choose a robe in your favorite color embroidered with cranes flying among pale blossoms. The silk feels soft and weightless in your hands, and you take it up to the register. Behind the polished wooden counter stands the shopkeeper, a woman with a calm, welcoming presence. She wears a silk qipao, the fabric a deep jade green that shimmers softly in the lantern light. Delicate embroidery of pale blossoms winds across the collar and down one side of the dress, and the high neckline frames her face with quiet elegance. Her dark hair is gathered neatly into a smooth bun at the back of her head, secured with a slender hairpin of carved jade, from which a small tassel sways gently when she moves. When she smiles, the soft glow of the lanterns catches the silk of her dress and the polished stone in her hair, giving her the quiet, graceful appearance of someone who has been part of this peaceful shop for many years. She reaches her hand out for the silk robe, and you hand it to her. She wraps it in tissue paper and places it in a bag for you. Sitting along a table next to the register, you notice lovely jade jewelry boxes, small and delicate, just large enough to hold a bracelet, a necklace, and a couple of rings. You reach for one and tell her you'd like that too. She wraps it carefully and places it atop the robe in the bag. You pay for your purchase and leave the store, thanking her sincerely. When you step back out onto the street, the evening has deepened just enough that the lanterns now glow more brightly against the darkening sky. The street feels quieter now, as though the lanterns themselves are gently holding the night in place. For a moment, you simply stand there, watching their light sway slightly in the breeze, feeling a calm settle over you as the city softens into early evening, feeling protected, lighted, held. You are jostled back to reality by your grumbling tummy. As you look across the street and see Mr. Jew's restaurant, it looks inviting, so you walk over and step inside. The space feels quietly warm and elegant. Soft lantern-style lighting glows against rich wood tones, and round tables are set with crisp white linens and delicate porcelain dishes. The room carries the gentle fragrance of ginger, soy, and slow-simmered broths, while muted conversation and the soft clink of chopsticks create a calm, welcoming hum. Large windows look out over the lantern-lined streets below, so even while dining, you feel connected to the quiet evening unfolding in Chinatown. Inside the restaurant, soft music plays and warm lights fill the room. You enjoy a peaceful meal, and the flavors are gentle and comforting. When you are finished, your server brings you a fortune cookie. You open it slowly and see a message inside. It simply reads, "Where light meets mist, peace follows." You fold the small paper and tuck it safely away. Then you step back outside beneath the glowing lanterns and wait for the cable car to return. You hear the familiar cling-clang of the bell and see another cable car climbing up the steep street. You board it with excitement for your next destination. The cable car slows as it reaches the crest of another hill, the bell clanging through the light fog. You step down onto the pavement at the corner of Hyde and Lombard, and for a few moments the world feels hushed, as though the fog has wrapped the hilltop in quiet. Just a few steps away, you notice a soft ribbon of lantern light descending into the mist. You walk toward it slowly, and as the fog parts, the famous curves of Lombard Street appear before you. A winding path of warm brick and garden flowers bending gently down the hill like a glowing trail leading into a peaceful dream. The San Francisco Bay lying off in the distance, partially shrouded in fog, the sunlight breaking through in patches. For a moment, you simply stand there, taking it in, the lanterns glowing softly against the fog-softened sky. Then, with an easy breath, you begin the slow walk down the quiet curves. Before you stretches one of San Francisco's most enchanting sights. The famous curved street winds gently downward in 8 graceful turns. The brick roadway glows under soft street lamps. Victorian and Edwardian homes line the street on either side, their painted trim and bay windows shining warmly through the drifting fog. Gardens spill over the edges of the sidewalks, boasting hydrangeas, roses, ferns, and all manner of flowering shrubs. Their fragrance drifts softly through the cool evening air. Each curve of the road feels like a long, gentle breath, turning, pausing, then turning again. Along the curves of Lombard Street, tall black lampposts stand quietly among the gardens, their lantern-shaped lights casting warm circles of gold onto the brick road. In the foggy evening air, the glow spreads softly through the mist, making each bend of the street look like a ribbon of gold gently unfolding down the hill. The quiet city hum surrounds you, soft, distant, calm. Each step feels slower, heavier. At the bottom of Lombard Street, you board the cable car again. The bell clangs as the car climbs another hill, and suddenly the fog parts just enough that you can see another icon, the regal silhouette of the Golden Gate Bridge. Its towers rise gracefully into the mist. The enormous suspension cables disappear into the fog above. Completed in 1937, the bridge was once the longest suspension span in the world. Tonight, it appears both powerful and dreamlike. Standing tall in the drifting fog, its lights glow softly like distant stars. You pause and simply watch as the fog moves slowly around the towers, the bay stretching quietly beneath them. It is a moment of calm, a moment of wonder, and the comforting knowledge that you have no responsibilities today. There is nothing you need to do and nowhere you need to be. The bridge will stand stalwart without any effort from you. Then the cable car continues on. Soon the car descends toward the waterfront, the air becoming cooler, saltier, as you arrive at Fisherman's Wharf. Here, too, lanterns glow along the wooden piers. Fog drifts low over the water, rolling in a little thicker as the sun gradually sinks lower. You find a quiet bench facing the harbor, and though you ate not long ago, it's practically impossible to pass through this iconic spot without a shrimp cocktail from Nick's Lighthouse and warm sourdough bread from Boudin Bakery. The shrimp is cool and sweet on a bed of ice, a hint of sea salt, and a dab of cocktail sauce. The sourdough is crisp outside and soft in the center. You spread it with a little butter, though it is nearly as delicious without. And you enjoy your simple snack as harbor seals bark softly from the docks, their voices echoing across the water. The tide moves quietly against the pilings. The rhythm of the bay is slow, steady, sleepy. After dinner, you wander through softly lit streets until you arrive at a historic jazz club called Earthquake Magoons. Long ago, a musician named Turk Murphy played here often, helping bring traditional New Orleans jazz to San Francisco. Though you're tired, the history and culture of this venue draw you inside. In the club, warm lights glow above small wooden tables. Music drifts through the room, trumpets, piano, soft brushes on a drum. Tonight, the music feels slow and comforting. You sit quietly in a corner seat. The music wraps around you like warm lantern light on a cool night. Outside, fog presses gently against the windows. Inside, the music continues. It feels slow and easy, relaxing you completely. Your breathing grows deeper, your shoulders soften, and you realize you are completely comfortable and ready to continue your walk to your lodging for a night of rest. The music fades slowly behind you as you leave the club. Another set of lanterns guide you through the final quiet streets of the evening, depositing you just a couple of blocks further at No's Nest Bed and Breakfast, a beautiful Victorian house that stands waiting just for you. Its windows glow warmly. Inside, the air smells faintly of cedar wood and fresh linen. Walking into this house feels like stepping into an eccentric Victorian curiosity cabinet with antiques, colorful objects, figurines, and unusual decorations throughout the common rooms and guest spaces. It looks almost theatrical in nature. You check in and wander upstairs to a room prepared for you. Stepping into your room feels like stepping into a small Victorian jewel box tucked high above the city. Soft green walls frame a curved bay of tall windows, their pale curtains drawn back to reveal the fading blue light of evening over San Francisco's rooftops. To one side stands a white wooden fireplace mantel filled with small curiosities and books, its hearth framed with colorful Victorian tile in blues and reds. A warm fire crackles softly in the hearth, glowing light dancing across the walls. After being in the chill of the foggy city for hours, the warmth envelops you like a sweet embrace. The room feels collected rather than designed, curated, part bedroom, part personal gallery, filled with small objects that invite quiet observation and wonder. Near the window sits a small, round, wooden table with 2 chairs, a place where a guest might sit with morning coffee while watching the sunlight chase the fog across the hills. You set your things down on the table and head to the ensuite where a clawfoot tub awaits you. Someone has prepared the bath for you, and the steam rises gently from the hot water in the tub. Rose petals float atop the water, and several candles flicker along the bathroom ledge near the tub. You remove your clothes and sink into the bath, allowing its warmth to wash over and through you, warming you to the bone. The water smells of rose and lavender. You rest your head on the edge of the tub and close your eyes. The light of the candles and the light of the lanterns glowing gently in your mind's eye. Though the city around you has been bustling and still is, you feel relaxed and peaceful, just knowing no one is expecting you. You can't recall the last time you felt able to just let go like this. You relax in the bath until the water begins to cool, and then you step out, towel off, slip into a set of warm pajamas, and walk back into the bedroom. You step outside briefly onto a small patio. From here, you can see the lights of the bay and the fog hanging heavily across the water like a blanket. The night breeze is cool and gentle, but the room is warm, and you are cozy in your pajamas. So you leave the patio doors cracked and return inside. Next to the fireplace, a bay window creates a gentle alcove where the bed sits centered, allowing whoever lies there to wake to the view of the city and the shifting light of the sky. Above, the ceiling is painted a soft sky blue with delicate decorative patterns, giving the impression of sleeping beneath a quiet painted sky. Heavy gold drapery swags crown the windows, their folds adding a touch of old-world elegance. Atop the bed is a thick comforter in shades of white and cream, several large white pillows resting against the white iron headboard. At the foot of the bed is a settee in cream brocade fabric, with a white metal frame matching that of the bed and a white knit blanket resting easily on one side. You remove your robe and place it atop the settee, climbing beneath the covers of the bed, your head sinking deeply into the thick pillows. As you pull the soft blankets atop your body, you sigh deeply, feeling a wave of happy exhaustion washing over you. The sounds of the city grow distant. Cable car bells, ocean waves, jazz music, foghorns, they all drift quietly through your memory, joining the lantern light in the mist. Your breathing slows and you sink deeper into the bed, your body relaxing completely as you inhale and exhale gently now, without thought, your breathing settling into a natural, peaceful rhythm. You feel comfortable, warm, and held. The cool breeze settles on your face, and the night carries you gently towards sleep. The city fades, The fog settles outside. You hear a foghorn in the distance, and in your mind, the edges of your awareness soften, and you slip deeper and deeper down, falling finally into a deep, restorative sleep. Good night.